Scotty, I got you a treat.
I'm hoping for the Gulf Slam. And I'm not talking Jack Crevalle, Blue Runner, and catfish.
Oh, you left the one out, the prime. Bluefish.
The bluefish. I'm hoping to, we just loaded up a bunch of good numbers for some wrecks, and maybe we can get some cobias, permits.
I think we got to start our mornings off by like Crevalle. Today we're Crevalle, bluefish, and catfish fishing, because yesterday we were sail fishing and we were really high hoped on that, and we caught everything in the ocean but a sailfish.
Right.
So might curse us if we, you know.
So you want to use reverse psychology on ourselves?
Yes, that's what we're gonna do. Hey, at this point, anything, right?
Listen, we gotta produce. We got a real treat for you in store for you today. We got Capt Bill coming from the Deadliest Catch. He's got some stories to be told. I don't have to listen to you all day.
Awesome.
But I just got a feeling you got some stories to match all his.
Simrad's Into the Blue, presented by Yellowfin, with Captain Scott Walker and Captain Steve Roger.
Hey.
How are you?
Good, brother. How are you?
Morning, Bill.
Doing good. Hey, Scott. How's the new boat holding up?
We're breaking her in, right?
Morning.
Morning, buddy. How are you?
What's going on?
Oh, good. Just getting
Thanks
ready
for
for another
making
day. Beautiful day.
Okay.
This is your pole today.
Nice. I know what that means.
Oh, yeah.
I have a feeling I'll be perspiring.
You will be perspiring. I'm really lucky. I was invited to be on the Billfish Commission for the country of Guatemala to help teach the entire country that the billfish are worth more money recreationally to catch than to eat. They use it as a price food source for a holiday, but it's a 1,000-year-old tradition. So I was invited with Wild Bill from the Deadliest Catch and Peter Miller and some other guys to sit in with the government and, you know, start talking about how we're going to retrain everyone so that the fish will be there tomorrow and for future generations. Well, Bill was there, and he turned out to be this really articulate guy. He's so gracious with his time, and knowing him for the last 2 years, he's actually come into my fishing circle with a couple of my tournament clients. And I know that I'm fishing with him in a couple of weeks, so I asked him if he wouldn't mind swinging down to fish with me and Steve. And of course he said if he could find time, he'd do it. And I'm just getting ready to let Steve know we're gonna have a heck of a time this week when Bill gets here. So I finally line up a surprise guest. And you knew who it was gonna be.
I thought you were going to say you finally went under the bridge. It's safe over there.
No. So I arranged to have a guest on the show. I knew you'd be jacked to meet, you know, Capt Wild Bill. But then, of course, you said, we got to catch something this time, Scott. You know, we got to produce. We can't just go out and catch one swordfish or do something that we got to kick it up a notch. And for you, I know what that means. You want to go into the Gulf.
Yeah, the Gulf is an amazing, amazing place with bites. You might not catch that trophy, you know, that 400-pound sword or them 12 sailfish days or them beautiful mahi. But what you will have is bites. I love, it's like my inside joke, I love jabbing at you that the fact that you've never been under the bridge, you know what I mean? And
my tuna tower does not come down, so I don't have to go under the bridge.
I'm like, there's a whole nother ocean over there, man. That's what I knew we needed to do, and we did a little research. We figured out there was some things that were fairly close, in arm's reach, and we took off under the bridge, and I saw you staring at that Simrad chart plotter. I'm like, oh, it's been a while since he's been back here. He's making sure there was no flats that moved or nothing.
As soon as we were 5 minutes away from that bridge, I was out of my zone.
Right.
I was in a whole new body of water.
Yeah, and we got out there, and it was beautiful.
All right, get this bucket out of our way. One more box of bags, tools.
So what are you putting out? You're putting out a couple live ones?
I'm just poking some eyeballs out so they just kind of spin around. Give them a bigger profile. Yeah. I'll have you a live bait rig ready in just a second.
Yeah?
Oh boy, we got something on the hoagie.
Fish yelling. Hooked up.
From the deadliest catch to the easiest catch, bro.
It's a long way from Dutch Harbor.
Oh, what
Take
you
it.
got? Nice cobia, man. Oh, there's a bunch of them coming with him.
Live bait, leave them in the water a little bit.
Oh, yeah, leave them.
Oh, that's a nice cobia. Steve, you want to take that one with this right here? There you go.
That one's a, there's some big ones
Give
down
another
there.
one. There's a big one right there next to it.
Throw them some pelchers so you can get them all fired up.
Okay.
Fish out.
Bang them hard on the side. We had a lot of friends with him, Billy.
Yeah, there was
That's
there was a big one with it.
All right, he comes back up. There's another 40-pounder with him.
I love it, Scotty. You're whispering. Awesome.
Hey, do you want
We're
to
hunting wabbits.
wabbits? Wascally wabbits. Do you want to net them, Steve?
You're gonna net them,
Steve, do you want to net them?
No, I'm gonna.
Come
hook,
on,
I'm gonna
remember?
hook one.
Remember how you did a great job last time we were in Louisiana?
I just don't want them to come up alone again. Yeah, dude, just like that. Because when that herd starts to beat some of those next time they come up.
I can see there's no rhyme or reason to you two, huh? A nice looking fish, though. Holy smoke. Look, they brought the whole, he brought friends. Where did his buddies go? He had a,
Yeah, they came the first time. And
now they came up this time too for a second.
Did they?
Yeah.
I guess we got to work together. You kind of drop his head into it. I'll get it in front of him. All right. Let's bring him into my net here. Drop his head. Oh, he turned. All right, we got him. Nice.
Good job, bro. Good job. Got me some dinner.
Yeah.
You some dinner? We all got dinner.
Man, your lure's out.
Didn't take long to find some fish. There we go. Nicely done.
First Gulf cobia. Second cast.
We got it. We're on the
Stevie's
hotspot.
on.
As a kid, we were always fishing, hunting, and then we started taking vacations to Virginia Beach. I remember I was maybe 6 years old, sat on the beach and said, I don't know why we're living in Pennsylvania, I want to be on the ocean.
Simrad's Into the Blue, presented by Yellowfin, is brought to you in part by Simrad, go with confidence. Yellowfin, only in a Yellowfin. Hawks Cay Resort, the only key you'll need. Mercury Marine, go boldly. And by Ameritrail Boat Trailers, Under Armour, and Fraybill.
I kind of think this is where you were telling me I had to pick up the pace so we could catch another one.
Ooh. This thing is like a whole aquarium trying to move it.
Bill, you want something a little lighter with a live bait, feather
Sure.
back?
Yeah,
Something a little-
try something different.
All right.
So how is it on the tide? Is there a better part of the tide for doing this stuff? or-
Well, it seems like the cobias like to come to the top at slack tide.
Yeah.
And then once the tide starts moving, they'll kind of lay down, and you just kind of got to wake them up with fighting other fish or getting bites. They're kind of curious, so they'll check it out. We got down here in the Keys, we got 6 hours incoming and then 6 hours of falling. So there's like 4 tides a day.
That's not just the Keys.
Yeah, oh, everywhere. Okay. Well, that's the thing is when I leave the Keys, I don't do much fishing. We'll do some hunting.
And the thing with me is I'm all over the place.
Yeah.
So I'm asking you questions for real because
Yeah.
I
I
haven't
get it,
done this stuff before. So
Now, y'all got like what, 30-foot swing?
yeah, we get big tides up there. You'll get some tourist that'll have his boat in town. He'll tie it up to the dock nice and tight and go up to the restaurant or the bar and come back and it'll be hanging out of the water and cleats are popping. And
Yeah, I think we get, maybe a 4-foot swing here.
is that what it is?
Yeah.
High to low? Tides really play an important part of our fishery, the crab. When the tides are running real strong, the crab will dig into the mud because it's not worth them to fight so hard to scavenge for bait. So we really watch the tides a lot when we're fishing.
So when it's slack, they're crawling everywhere.
Yeah.
Same thing.
And when you have, there's a big swing in the tides throughout the month, obviously in the lunar cycle. So when the tides are at their least is when fishing's usually the best because the crab will feed longer per day. And when you have some big minus tides, you might as well forget it.
Now, obviously down here with the crabbing, the moon plays a factor big time. Do you have a moon situation like they don't like to crawl when it's bright out?
Moon just coincides with the tide.
Right. Here it's a lot of the dark night. Same with the crawfish, man. They don't want to crawl around because somebody's gonna eat their butt. So
I always wondered with the billfish if they feed at night sometimes, because with the full moon, they're not. We don't get as good a fishing, you know.
Yep, I believe that. Yeah, absolutely.
Scott, we're gonna have to start keeping track of how many species we've fished together.
All right.
You're showing me all kinds of new stuff today, buddy.
Do I have to go in the Bering Sea and catch a crab too?
Sure, come on up.
Promise me it'll be a nice weather.
You gotta
I can't make that promise.
You gotta duplicate the weather. It's gotta be just like this, Bill.
Oh, I'd like to get on that side just to see the halibut and the salmon.
What we got to do is we got to go up to Lake Sitka end of May, beginning of June. You get the nice big cookie cutter kings.
Yeah, I'm talking about that.
And then halibut, you get the nice 35, 40 pound halibut, and you get spot prawns. It's my favorite time to fish up there.
Yeah, don't leave out the 1,500-pound bears.
I get questions all the time about why do I sport fish so much? How and why would you sport fish because of what your job is? There's no other place in the world than on the water. I mean, if I can't see the water, I'm not happy.
That's what we're talking about.
And I think the difference for me in sport fishing and commercial fishing is when I do it, it's such a, I mean, if we don't produce, we don't survive. And there's the same competitive feeling with sport fishing, but it's not so severe. So when I fish a tournament or whatever, I've got that in the back of my mind. We got to win this. And when you get on a boat like with Scott and Crazy Steve, they don't want anybody around them to catch more fish than them. So it's perfect. It's a perfect match. And you think about it, we all fish for a living. And I've fished with Scott before. We did a big tournament and he gets real concentrated. So it was kind of fun to fish with Scott in a recreational environment because it was the have fun thing. And I could see that trip. You wouldn't have to be some badass marlin fisherman to go out there and have fun with your family. Your daughter, your son could have been there. That really excited me about what I do. I'm always trying to get more people to go fishing, and I mean, it's the coolest experience in the world to watch your 5-year-old kid catch his first fish. I mean, putting a 5-year-old kid on a big sail or a marlin might be a challenge, but you know, he could have wrestled one of those cobias to the rail and he would never forget it. It was that kind of trip for me. I could see me being able to reinforce what I go after from fishing with these guys.
Same way I showed you the hook and bill, that kind of hydrodynamic deal there.
I got you.
And just keep going and going and going.
You know, I run around with those guys all the time. If they're not catching a big sail or a billfish, they don't think it's saltwater fishing, but I'll tell you what.
Oh, I'm not like that at all.
This is
I mean, I just totally...
family or something you get?
Yeah, I've been charter fishing forever.
You
Mom,
have?
Dad, and 2 kids.
You have been
If you don't catch
fishing forever.
yellowtails, you're not doing your job.
When
You
you
gotta
started,
catch everything.
did you have motors or was it sails?
He rowboat.
I worked my way up to sail power.
What'd you do? You get another
I think it's a blue runner because it's actually pulling.
fighting hard?
Yeah. I got all the barracudas excited. Oh yeah. This is definitely a marathon blue runner.
Marathon blue runner. What's the difference?
Full grown.
We make them
No,
full
I got
grown.
you. I got you.
You have to find a big kingfish to eat that one, Scotty.
That guy right there.
Put it right in his face.
That's the one. Give him the slow one. Yeah, he wants the
Nice
slow
and
one.
easy, nice and easy. Simrad's come out with a new broadband Chir Sounder, and what this has done is it allows you to actually mark. In old traditional bottom machines, you'd mark big schools of bait, but you'd only see the bait itself, sending one signal down. With this Chirp technology that Simrad has now, you can actually pull individual targets out away from the bait, so you can see the predator fish as well as the big ball of bait. For instance, when we're fishing out in the Gulf, you know, normally with old traditional sounder without Chirp technology, you would just mark a lot of activity. You couldn't really tell if there was game fish or just bait fish. With the Chirp, you can actually see the game fish and pull them out, pull each target out away from that big ball of bait. We were able to see the big school of cobia, we were able to see the snappers, and all the water columns, and then ultimately the Goliath groupers down on the bottom. It was really neat to be able to
pull those individual fish out and make that decision to fish that spot. So some of the key features are a dual channel chirp, which that allows a lot more frequencies. You have an ultra low, a medium, and high. And you can even pull those up simultaneously on the screen. So, you know, if you're not sure which one you want to be using, you can put them up there and then determine yourself which one you like better, whether you're fishing higher on the tunas in the higher water column or if you're targeting the bottom fish at great depth. It's also compatible with wide angle transducers, which that allows you to see further out side of the boat and not just straight down. So as a fisherman, you know, having the latest and greatest chirp technology, you know, Simrad was the first company to come out with chirp for the professional fishermen and the enthusiasts in 2011. Having that technology at your fingertips, it really opens up time spent fishing at a place. You know, if you're out, if doing some exploring in an area you're not familiar with, it really helps to be able to see the individual target fish and be able to fish for those fish.
Oh, it's a beautiful Jack Crevalle.
I was excited to actually get to see Wild Bill. We've met a few times.
Trade shows and things.
I've been seeing him around. You know, I remember watching his show a little bit and seeing, like, I think there was like a marlin lure would hang like in his wheelhouse, and you would see it swing back and forth in these 40-foot waves or whatever, you know. And I'm like,
he might be ice cold, but he's thinking about tropical paradise.
Yeah. And so we've starting to see him around these trade shows we've been going to, and we're talking fishing, and through the friendship that you guys have developed, it was really a pleasure to have the time that he came down and spent the day on the boat with us. And great guy, very knowledgeable about his fishery, which is you know, a lot different than recreational fishing. You know, what we're doing here with this show is, you know, we're out recreational fishing and teaching people what products and how to catch fish. Whereas, you know, he's on the other end, he's on that commercial end, and I have a lot of background in that as well. So we have a lot in common there on just, you know, my father crabs down here. It might be called the easiest catch here, and he's doing the deadliest catch there. But, you know, I've been commercial fishing since the beginning, my whole life down here. And so it's neat to catch up with some of the ways that, you know, Alaska runs their fishery and filling him in on how it's run down here on
I
the
was
East
overwhelmed listening to you talk about regulations. I mean, they're exactly the same. They're regulated for everything they do from the start to finish, the number of traps that land in the water, how many they can catch. It's like what you can catch, what you're allowed to catch, and then the rules just keep piling on and trying to keep up ahead. You
know, you yourself have spent a lifetime on the water. I have as well, and it's really cool to have those conversations. It's not the issues we have with all the regulations. It's just saying, oh yeah, well you got to do that. Well, guess what we got to do? You know, we got to do this, and this. And he's like, oh yeah, well we got to do this.
So we're gonna leave skin on these snappers. We're gonna throw them on the grill. Scales down, and that's going to insulate the meat from the fire. It's going to be amazing. We talked about it before, but that's
one of my favorite ways, man. You showed me that one. Skin and scales down. That's what we call it.
Next day, it peels right off.
That's what we call it at the Rogers house.
Can't get enough Into Blue TV? Just follow us on Facebook, Instagram, or Twitter.
Simrad's Into the Blue, presented by Yellowfin, has been brought to you in part by Yeti, built for the wild. Shimano. Bubba Blade, the ultimate sportsman's knife. Key West, close to perfect, far from normal. And by Costa, Sea Deck Marine Products. And Spear One Charters.
Oh, here comes a stud. Oh, I'm getting a big one right there. Big one's going down on me.
I'm too busy.
Come on. There's one right on the boat. He's kind of a small one.
Right here at the motor. Did you catch one, Scott, or what?
I've been looking at this 6-inch long picture filtered all morning. He's been staying on top. Mm-hmm. He was right there when that cobia came up.
Hook up. Throw right in there. Bill's a monster in there.
Oh, target that big one. Oh, here she comes, right to the back of the boat. That's the one. Oh, it's coming right at 6 o'clock, right at you. Good.
You know what I mean?
Oh, there's the big one right there, eating freebies. Not the turtle.
Yeah.
Oh, mine just broke off.
Yeah, you're next. Oh, closer, closer, closer. Not that little one. Closer, closer, closer. Closer, closer. No, little one. Yep, yep. Good job.
Here comes a good one. Where's that big one again? Oh, there he is.
That guy right there.
Put it right in his face.
That's the one. Give him a slow one. Yeah, he wants the
Nice
slow
and easy,
one.
nice and easy. Nice and easy. Nice and easy.
Oh, you got him on that light stuff. Have fun.
Let him, Bill. Let him do whatever he wants. Got that real light leader on balance, not like that other guy.
Okay.
All right, triple hookup. You know what y'all call them when they're outside the trap?
Yeah, when they're hanging on the outside,
Yeah, that's what we got going. A triple header cobia, man. That's like
That's-
riders.
it's pretty good fishing.
Nice. Nice. Probably gonna let that one go.
I don't know if you
Scott.
guys can tell, but I'm smiling really big. This is a great thing when you're all tripled up, man. It's
Well, the coolest thing is sight fishing them. You know, actually making that cast right in front of them. Cool little fish, man. You see those spines on their back too, boy. They really. Oh, that's a
good
nice
sight.
one, Bill. There. That one's gonna get to ride with us. I'm gonna let this one go. Oh goodness.
That little guy had cool colors, huh? Stripes?
Yeah, yeah, yeah. See how well I
Nice,
can make
Bill.
you
Look
fish.
at that little jig's perfect. It's not chafing up on that leader.
Actually feels good.
Perfect.
There we go.
Drop it back down one.
You want double?
Yeah, let's do a double. I think you
Look, I'm about to hook up right here with my. I could barely get one in the net. Now
All
you're
right,
making
come
me
on,
put
come
two in the net.
you can do it.
It's right on this side, Bill.
All right. Right here, Bill. We got him in a frenzy.
Oh,
See that hook now?
oh, don't make me put three in the net. Slow down.
We're just getting started, really. We haven't been here an hour.